Everybody, hello. This is April Showers of the April Showers Network. And first, I want to give a message to some of you people that have a problem with me or think I'm this avid Trump supporter or I done did this. First of all, let me tell you something. All of these presidents that we have had, okay, starting with Reagan, let me allow myself to introduce to you what every president that's been in office. Reagan, my parents lost everything when the steel mills closed. Bush, I lost the house. I lost the house with the Wells Fargo mortgage. The Clintons, you voted for people that talked about black men being super predators. You voted for Biden, who was against segregation. Him and Clinton signed the Crime Act bill, okay, where they locked black people up. So I don't give a hoot about none of these presidents. All of them good. Obama, we thought, was getting ready to be the savior. He wasn't the black people's savior. Okay? Now, the question I'm right now, where them guards at? Instead of saying where them fans at, where them guards at? Okay, Chicago had another mass shooting today. Where them guards at? Stop saying where them fans at. If you don't live in Chicago or got people up there in Chicago, stop bumping your gums. Stop bumping your gums. And nothing beats a failure but a try. Brandon Johnson did not care about the black people in Chicago. He could have been set up task force for Chicago. He could have got with the community leaders. He could have got with the Nation of Islam. He could have set up task force in these black communities where these crimes are happening. But no, Brandon Johnson was fighting tooth and nail. Okay? He was fighting tooth and nail for migrants. Illegal migrants. As he could have fought tooth and nail to bring some kind of structure to Chicago with the crime. He could have been had a task force. Oh, did y'all know that Brandon Johnson and Pritzker were going to Venezuela? All of them lining their pockets. None of these politicians give a darn about the people. All of them are in it to line their pockets with money. They could give a darn, Democrat or Republicans. These people do not care about us. An agenda has been put in place, They puppets for big corporations, whoever is running this country. Hell, I think it's aliens. But without further ado, where them troops at? Where the National Guard at? Oh, yeah, let me remind you. See, I was in the city. I got people that live up there. I have family and friends Now, just to reiterate to you people, what's going on in Chirac?
Shot in the Bronzeville neighborhood. We're told a group of people were standing outside around 11 o'clock last night when a car drove by and someone fired into the crowd. The victims include 5 women and 2 men ranging in age from 28 to 32 years old. All were shot in their lower half of their bodies. They were taken to the hospital and all of them are expected to be okay.
Where them troops at? Where them troops at? Where them troops at? All you people talking, y'all don't even live in Chicago. Then y'all want to say what the people ain't saying. And if Trump does have an agenda, at this point, I don't think the people of Chicago even care. They want their streets to be safe. All you people got something to say. A little bit of help is better than none. Oh, and this is happening. This happened today. Where them troops at? Where them troops at? Where them troops at?
If you want total health care from a provider you trust,
Hi, Blair.
right in the palm of your hand. If you want soup, sweatpants, and zero
Chirac.
contact. If you want wellness,
Trump, where them troops
our
at?
virtual primary care delivers with great website.
Y'all bumping the
So
gums,
choose your doctor from
and they call
and enjoy
Chicago
the healthiest
Chirac.
online relationship you've ever had. House calls have evolved. Advocate Healthcare.
We're following some breaking news this morning. At least 7 people shot during a drive-by on the city's south side in Bronzeville. Here's what we know. Chicago police say it happened near 35th and South State Street around 11:10 last night. Officers responding to a call about multiple people being shot. Investigators believe a car drove by the area when someone from inside opened fire into a crowd. 5 men, 2 women were all struck. All were taken to a hospital, are in good condition. No one is.
Hey, Brian Lynn. Where them troops at? Where them troops at? Where they at? Where them troops at? Mayor Brandon Johnson want to act like he's so concerned for the community. The community. You better look at some of those city council meetings, okay? Since everybody got PhD degrees on Chicago, you better go to some of them city council meetings and look at what the people been saying, what they've done, how they've talked about the corrupt police and everything. And this is what's going on right now. Do you have family do you have friends? Do you go to Chicago often to visit your loved ones? Because I was just there yesterday. Prayed up there, prayed during the event, and prayed to get home safely. My family want the National Guard in there. Some help is better than something. Chicago got 3 million people and about 11,000. Wait a minute. What, 3 million people? And I think they said 11,000. 11,000 police officers. That's not enough. Half of them corrupt and crooked anyway. Allegedly. All of this is alleged. 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 I got faith. I got hope. And I'm going to love on people. And I'm going to live, love, and laugh. Where them troops at? Oh. Where them troops at? Where them troops at? Where them troops at? Where them troops at? Oh. Where them troops at? Where them troops at? Chirac. Do you know how they got the name Chirac? Well, some of you people, let me educate you people that don't know what Chirac means. That's Chicago's nickname. Chirac. They fudging the books allegedly, not reporting all of the crimes allegedly. Chirac. Let's see. What do we have here? What do we have here? Do you know what Chirac means? While y'all bumping off at the gums. Chirac. A nickname for Chicago that combines the city name with Iraq, used to describe certain areas within the city as being like a war zone due to high levels of violence and gang activity. The term, credited to rapper King Louis, highlights the intense gun violence and harsh realities faced by residents. Chirac. Okay? Chirac. The community experience. Let me educate you on Chicago, aka Chirac. Many Chicagoans, including community members and officials, argue that Chirac is an inaccurate and misleading representation of the entire city, as violence is not uniform across all neighborhoods. So while you're in this, all the leaders, why didn't you form a task force? Okay? Because the community says the nickname likens the persistent gun violence, gang wars, and poverty in parts of Chicago to the war zone conditions in Iraq. For young people in these areas, it serves as shorthand for the rampant violence and feelings of anger and alienation they experience. Where them troops at? Where them troops at? Oh. Where them troops at? Let's see. Chirac is a nickname given to America's third largest city, Chicago. Chicago was given this nickname because there are more, MURDERS and violence that occur in Chicago than the war in Iraq. Walking the streets of Chicago is like walking in Iraq with all the murders, robbery, gangbangs, and acts of violence. So, where was you at, Mayor Brandon Johnson? You were too busy running over to Venezuela. Okay? We know all about that. You and Pritz, all y'all stuff coming out. You didn't care about the black community or any other community. None of the communities that was affected. You didn't care about nothing but getting immigration money that you probably done lined your pockets with, allegedly, and you did nothing for the city of Chicago. Chirac. Oh. Where them troops at? Chirac. You better Google it. And all of you folks, the people, the residents of Chicago, want this. Oh, they gonna find a few. You think people like getting up in the morning at the crack of dawn to try to go grocery shopping, getting all of their business done and get home before, dusk, before, sundown? Because they don't know where bullets might come flying from. You gotta avoid these streets, this area, and all of that. Oh. Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them guards at? Oh. Chirac. Chirac. Where them guards at? Oh, let's see. Let's find some video Let's see. Hello to anybody that's in the chat.
Callie.
Hello, I can't. I'm doing this YouTube, so I don't even know. Let me see how I can look at the chat. Let me see.
Justine!
Hold on.
Okay, now what about Chirac? Now, is that a term that you invented or no?
Yes, it is. I invented that shit back when. That's what I'm saying, bro. Chirac, Drillinois. That was a mixtape, an old mix. I don't even know when I put it out. It was some years back. It was years back. This back when Pac was alive. Was it? No, this was after Pac. But it's still like, this shit was hella years ago. But anywho, I was big on Call of Duty. That's when Call of Duty first, you know what I'm saying, was going crazy back then. I think it was Black Ops or some shit. They had the dude send down on the cover and shit. And I had one of my homies, I think it was, I want to say one of the guys, I think it's Cardi. And he had made an art cover, and it was like me down there sent down like I was a dude or whatever, and I named it Chirac Drillinois. Wasn't nobody talking about no drill before us. Before that.
Yeah. Well, you look at the term Chirac now.
But it was busting Chirac now, but I'm saying it was Chirac Drillinois back then. It was still busting back then. It's crazy. It's just the world crazy now. It wasn't even just back. It wasn't even just a city. The world just crazy. The world crazy as fuck now. But the city was crazy back then too. That's why I'm fuck with calling it Chirac.
Right, because I almost feel like these days, people don't really like that term. I mean, like you coined it and it was your thing, but at the point when the whole world sort of took it over, and then, Spike Lee made a movie called Chirac and everything else like that.
I mean, that more so like, it's like when I was saying that shit, it was more so like we fake older, you know what I'm saying? It's an age gap kind of. We were losing more friends than everybody else at that point in time. So it hit harder. It really hit me like that's where music come from. You speak from the soul, like, so that's probably like that added fuel to my creativity for the Chirac shit. But once other people start getting killed, motherfucker don't want to. They don't want to claim that shit no more. Like it ain't hitting. Now it's hitting home. Now this shit really Chirac, cause some of your people just got killed, and that shit been going on and on and on. So that's why people don't really like it no more. But that's what the fuck it is.
Right, because I remember DJ Academics, one of his earlier YouTube channels was called War in Chirac, and these days he shut that down, and these days he even said like I regret calling it that and so forth.
Because motherfuckers ain't know how serious it was.
Yeah,
it's Black history.
Yeah,
you see, they don't want to teach Black history in goddamn schools and shit no more. So they motherfucker trying to counter, I won't even say whitewash the city, but it's just like they trying to act like the city, this shit crazy, motherfucker. That's what it is. It's Chirac. Drillinois.
Yeah.
It's Chirac. It's Chirac. Okay? Let me find you some more video. Oh. Where the National Guard at? Oh. To people that don't live in Chicago, don't have family up there. Now, hold on.
This film, people in Chicago hate Chirac.
Why?
They hate that movie.
Why?
With a vengeance. So outside Chicago, we get people understand what we're trying to do, but in Chicago, man, they hate that film like they hate the Knicks.
Wow. I mean, I thought it would be a representation of the city.
When Michael was and we meet each other in playoffs. So
wow, that's hilarious. I never knew that. I wouldn't have figured that, but I guess it was you weren't from Chicago, and what do they feel like? It's misrepresenting them, or
right.
that N-word don't know anything about Chicago. He ain't from the hood, you know that.
Now, speaking of movies, you have a lot of movies, a lot of iconic movies. Is there a movie of yours that you feel that people like still don't understand to this day?
Well, we have to be this film. People in Chicago hate Chirac.
Really? Why?
Okay.
They hate.
So, Spike Lee made a movie, people, they didn't want to accept the fact.
Now, speaking of movies, you have a lot of movies, a lot of iconic movies. Is there a movie of yours that you feel that people like still don't understand to this day?
Hold on. Let's get that out of there. Chirac, baby. That is Chicago's name. Chirac. Chirac. Where them guys at? 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 Hi to anybody in the chat. I'm going to get on my other device so I can speak to y'all for coming into this show. Brandon Johnson wants to act like he cares so much about the people in Chicago. He could have been fighting tooth and nail for a task force to get rid of the crime in the city, but they allegedly fudged the numbers. They fought hard for the migrants. Oh my goodness. Ooh, all the money they found for the migrants. Oh. Where them guards at? Okay, hold on. I got my other device, so I'm getting ready to speak to some people. Okay. Hi, Dawn. Hi, hey, the realist. Brian Lynn. Queen Keish. Yeah, where them guys at? Where them guys at? Oh. Yeah. Chirac, send them guys to Chirac. Send them to Chirac. Oh. So, let's look at something else. Let me introduce y'all to what's really going on. Hold on.
Tom Holman, make an example of this Negro right here first. You all stood up there and said you will not allow Trump to come in here and get these illegals. Yeah, you now we're in $1 billion deficit, and you spent half of our money, half of that on illegals. You campaign and double down that you would not raise property taxes.
I won't raise your property taxes.
You wanted to raise our taxes $300 million. They shut it down. Now we back here for $150 million. Okay. See, This is what we asking now. Since you want to crash out, some of y'all say y'all willing to go to jail for it. Trump, Tom Homan, make an example out this Negro right here first. Please come here first.
The mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, has absolutely been humiliated at a recent event where he was exposed for attempting to raise property taxes and spend more taxpayer dollars on illegal aliens in his city. Chicago has been a major problem for a long time. We all know this. The mayor's been completely roasted by his own community, and this comes just days after Trump pledged that he would likely be forced to deploy the National Guard to cities like Chicago, just like he did in Los Angeles, due to incompetent inaction from local leaders such as Mayor Johnson. Like, it's no secret that Chicago is a failing city. It's one of the main examples that highlights how bad Democratic leadership is in these big blue cities. It's one reason that Trump has been so vocal on social media, and as continuous inaction leads to more senseless violence. All of it could have been prevented. And it's not just the mayor of Chicago, it's also the governor of the entire state of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. You got two woke politicians who have no idea what they're doing, or they know what they're doing and they don't care. They're going to plan to raise state and local taxes on their communities? Really? This is absolutely outrageous that these cities have been left untreated for their crime numbers for so long. And it's one of the reasons that Trump's actions in Washington, D.C. have been so popular with the American public.
Developing story today, Chicago's budget problems, hate to say it, could be worse than we previously thought.
And that is according to a worst-case scenario released this afternoon by the Mayor's Office of Management and Budget. What could this mean for you? Our Charlie Wojciechowski joining us now in studio to sort out what could happen next. Charlie.
Well, Allison, when the COVID relief funds ran out, a lot of city budgets were thrown into turmoil. Chicago was no different. Now it's looking at how big that gap is and what the city needs to do about it. Chicago budget officials sounding the alarm this morning in a briefing for reporters that...
So, the residents, they want the National Guard in there. Y'all to let the Venezuelan gangs allegedly take over Chicago. You can't even solve your own problems, but you fighting tooth and nail. Tooth and nail. Okay? Tooth and nail for illegals that ain't paid not one, no taxes, no nothing. You found all kind of money for them. Father, forgive them, for they do not know any better. Oh, yes, they do. They land in their pockets. They got all of that immigration money. They didn't care about the citizens of Chicago. Okay? Oh. Where the National Guards at? Just to remind y'all, people that's coming in, people that want to bump off at the gums, that don't live in Chicago, that don't have family there. And I don't want to hear nothing about, it's a lot of people that lived and survived Chirac. And they suffer from freaking PTSD now. Okay?
Chicago police say 7 people were shot in the Bronx. We're told a group of people were standing outside around 11 o'clock last night when a car drove by and someone fired into the crowd. The victims include 5 women and 2 men ranging in age from 28 to 32 years old. All were shot in their lower half of their bodies. They were taken to the hospital and all of them are expected to be okay.
This just happened last night. Where them guys at? Where them guys at? Oh, 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 oh. Now, see, I don't even like to show Brandon Johnson. I don't even like to look at the man, okay? Because now that Trump is trying to do something, and I don't care what his agenda is, he's trying. I'm going to give him that much credit because it shouldn't have got out of this, Chirac. It shouldn't have came to this. They out of control up there. They out of control. It's been out of control. Now, the sorry mayor of Chicago that they voted for, okay, wants to sign, make bills protecting Chicago. You got them $1 billion in debt. Oh my God, you fought tooth and nail for them illegals. You was ready to risk your life for illegals. But you wasn't willing to risk your life for all of them people up there in Chicago that was being unalived. Make it make sense, Mayor Brandon Johnson. You sorry sack of ish. Now you want to do something. And again, just because to all of you people out there, y'all want to sit there all of you people out and when somebody says something that Trump is doing good, let me remind you, all of these presidents done did something that affected me in my life. And I'm going to repeat again. My parents lost their jobs in the steel mill. Everything. I was in the mortgage scam with the Bushes. I got friends that's locked up for life from Clinton and Biden with their Crime Bill Act. Instead of treating crack like an addiction, they locked people up to keep the jails and prisons. And, that name, the super Predators that Hillary Clinton called nice, young, handsome black men. And y'all talking about what Trump did? Ain't none of these people been for us. Oh, where them guys at? Hey, I love this stuff. This stuff is addictive. It's It's addictive. Oh. Where them guys at? Oh. Oh, thank God. I made it home last night. I wasn't in the Bronzeville area, but I was in Chicago. Thank you, Lord, for covering me. Chirac. Let me find some more videos to show y'all. Well, now, the sorry mayor of Chicago, now he wants to do all kind of executive orders protecting Chicago. You didn't think about that when you was flying over there to Venezuela, you and Pritzker, to bring these people over here, the Venezuelan gangs, allegedly. Not Trump on your butt and you want to do something. It's probably all a dog and pony show anyway. Let's see. Chirac. Oh. Where them guns at? Where them fans at? Oh. Put the guns down. Chirac. Then you got that drill music up there. Let's see. We want to educate people, you know. And some people don't want the National Guard up there, and that's fine too. But I do, and I respect them. Some people say, "Oh, Trump doing this because it's a blue state. It's the sanctuary city. I don't care what he doing. He helping. I don't care what his agenda is." Let's see. Oh.
This is ghetto. You gotta know how to survive. I'm not a racist person, so gentrified. I started on drugs at a young age because of the things I wanted, you know? I know 30 people in this neighborhood that have been shot already. We got the right to choose our own future and stand up for right and wrong, y'all. We're here in Chicago where the DNC is going on. However, all the hotels are totally full, super expensive. We could not afford to stay there, so we're going to stay in the neighborhood that we are staying in.
It's in West Chicago. It's right on East Garfield Park. Now, for those of you who don't know Chicago well, that is one of the most dangerous neighborhoods, not just in Chicago, but in the country. So we decided to walk around, talk to locals, and cover the DNC from this side of Chicago.
This is the apartment we rented for the week. You've got 6 cameras, 3 dead-bolted doors. But we're going to take a walk around, see what's going on, show you the neighborhood.
What is it?
1876 Bill Central.
Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh my goodness.
So those like recently got built maybe about 10 to 15 years ago, maybe.
Is this getting gentrified too?
Oh yeah, it's definitely getting gentrified.
This gas station screams gentrification. Right
here. Well, the whole area screams gentrification. And, if you look at the way that they got everything built in the middle of the streets, the pillars and everything, how they design the streets and stuff now, it wasn't never like that.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
For me, it's good. Because I'm sick of all the bullshit. And I'm not a racist person, so gentrified. You know what I'm saying? Gentrified. Because, when black people, when we hear that word gentrified, we normally look at it like, oh shit, the white people coming to take the fucking neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't look at it like that because if it's somebody, don't matter the color or who they are, if they're going to make it a better place for my kids to grow up in, then fuck it, do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as we can all live in harmony, which I believe that's what God put us down here for anyway, to all live in harmony, all us to get along. We humans. We not a fucking race. We a race of humans.
Yeah. What's the bullshit in the neighborhood?
Man, the kids killing kids. It's not enough. It's not enough. I ain't gonna even say it's not enough opportunities, because there are opportunities here, but you have to be able to show these kids the opportunities that's presented for them, and then make it where it's interesting. I feel like us as adults, we have to gain control and show them that there is another way. You don't have to do shit the way that we doing.
We've heard a lot of people bring up video games too. You talk about social media, music, and they say like Grand Theft Auto. Well, nobody's jacking this car though. This thing's safe. This thing's safe right here.
I mean, think back in the day when we were coming up, you had a simulation as far as driver's ed. And you drove on the video game and it taught you how to drive, and eventually you put yourself in the real car and you drove.
It's like practice,
so you gotta look at it's the same shit. If I'm simulating you into thinking that, man, shooting and robbing is fucking regular, you know what I'm saying, like it's normal, then you're gonna look at it as it's a normalcy. You're gonna bring it out here, you're gonna do it, and if it works for you, you're gonna keep doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like, okay, right, we're not going to be able to stop the video games from being created. We're not going to be able to stop the music from being created. Like, let's be like honest about the whole thing, you know what I mean? So we're not going to be able to stop there, but what we can do is show them like it's different ways. That shit is not real. You know what I mean? That's a video game. You can get out here and you can do that in the streets, but the consequences of what, you don't get a restart in real life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm 44, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I come from this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I used to gang bang, I used to fucking steal cars, everything, you know what I mean? But by the grace of God, I have no felonies. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to move around. I don't fucking even went back to school to better myself. So it's like, man, you gotta want better for yourself, and then you have to be the change that you want to see. So I figured if kids see me, like with these cars and stuff, this is what I do as far as I go to school for, paint cars. I painted this car myself.
No way. Look at this.
Like, if you go to school and learn something, you take a love of what you got and you make money from it, you'll never work a day in your life. And I got that from my brother and my father. So like I take what I love and I keep it going. And I know as kids that see this, and you'll probably think I'm selling drugs or anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not for that, you know what I'm saying? It's to show you like, man, you can do this. I did all this with my dad. I bought this car from a junkyard.
If you were to talk to like a 16-year-old who's hanging with the rough crowd, thinking about getting into the streets, getting into drugs, getting into gangs, what's your pitch for him to not do that and choose a life like you did where you're entrepreneurial and doing it the hard way?
You're way better than that. This shit is simple. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta ask yourself, what are you hustling for? You're like, what are you doing wrong for? Why would you want to be in the gang? Most people that's in a gang, they lack family. So I would say, like, if you don't have family, man, find someone who's positive that you can cling to and listen to them. Get the same shit off working the job. You know what I'm saying? You might get it a little slower, but it's safer. And guess what? I can ride around in this big-ass green car and ain't got to worry about being a target for somebody trying to shoot at me because I didn't like some shit they did or I'm in another fucking game. And ask yourself, do that shit make sense to you to walk around in life? Like, that's not life. That's not life to live like that.
Appreciate that. Gerald?
Yep.
All right, you said you lived in the neighborhood for like 70 years, right?
Yeah. Well, this is the second largest crime area in the city of Chicago.
East Garfield Park specifically?
Yes. Inglewood is number one.
Is that Southside?
Yes.
What kind of violence? Gang violence?
It's all gang violence, drug violence, everything.
Do you worry about that, or if you mind your own business, are you good?
I'm good. Nobody bothers me. 90% of the kids that live in this neighborhood, I knew their parents. You know, I helped bury some of them and things like that, help their kids grow up in this neighborhood. They have a little bit of respect for me, more or less. The gangs are fighting over turf for drug control and stuff like that. That's the major issue around here. 70% of them don't work, so you can just assume the money they make is through the trafficking drugs or something else like that. Yeah. The first thing they do is buy a car.
Is it like there aren't enough jobs, or they just aren't looking for jobs?
No. Their parents started a long time ago. I can go back when my kids were small, and they had like a a show and tell or something like that in the school. And the teacher asked one African American kid, you know, like, what does your mom do? My mom stays home and shit, but she gets a check every month. It broke my heart when I thought that he actually thought that his parents not working, collecting welfare was an actual job.
How have the demographics changed here?
They changed in, like after like in the 70s and early 80s. The people that lived here that were fairly well off, they just all left.
Really?
These people just started buying up all the buildings, all the African Americans that could afford it.
So it became more of a black neighborhood?
Yeah, in early 80s. Everything went downhill from there.
Is there a big police presence around here with crime so high?
I have a brother and sister that are police officers. They work in this district. They're just doing their job. They won't come out here at night.
Too dangerous?
I'm up until 6 or 7. I might have seen one squad car pass by, maybe 2.
It's kind of like a police dead zone. Do you think the average person wants more police presence here?
I think they feel a lot better of it because, to tell you the truth, when anything happens around here to us, I mean Latinos and blacks and everything like that, police are real slow to respond. But if someone like yourself or a female that was white and got mugged here, this place would be swarming with police. If somebody gets shot around here, you know, 10, 15 people call the police and the ambulance. It takes them 45 minutes an hour to get here. I know 30 people in this neighborhood that have been shot already.
Jeez. Margaret?
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Cheryl Swoops, and I am here.
So, you know, that was a snippet of when the DNC was going on, the Democratic National Convention. That wasn't that long ago. Okay. So, where the National Guard at? Where them guards at? Where them guards at? Put the guns down. Put the guns down. Put the guns down. Teach. Task force. Community involvement. Setting up task force in the neighborhoods that are bad. You know, all kind of solutions that could have been presented to the city council. But Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago and the governor, they did not care about the people of Chicago. The only thing they were concerned about while they were making their trips to Venezuela and all of this, aligning their pockets, allegedly, they were worried about bringing people over here, getting a piece of the pie of this immigration money. Okay? Let me see. Let's, shouts out to those content creators. You know, I show their names and let's see. Hold on. Hold on. Oh. Where them guys at?
Thank you so much. The Retail Trader One says CPD is 11K. Thank you so much. The Retail Trader One says CPD is 11K, 11,000 now. How many more cops do they need to get the desired result? Well, apparently they need the National Guard because, like you said,
in the city of Chicago. How 11,000 police gonna police 3 million people?
Well, you need the National Guard, and then if those 11,000 stop turning a blind eye to the illegals and the drug and gun cartels, maybe something will get done. But I want to go to the people. Right? I want to play this clip here. Let's see something. Oh, I had it on mute. This is a good. Can you hear that?
My first reaction was that this is a good thing. I think that the governor as well as the mayor should be on board with it just so we can get a bit more of security in Chicago the way that we need.
The crime has dropped since 2024. Do you feel like the city feels safer?
No, not at all. No, especially with the police being defunded. My first reaction was that this is a good thing.
Okay, yeah, that was it because it's only 21 seconds. So, was this the clip you was talking about?
What I'm talking about, first off, I love her Chicago accent. I love how we talk. But yeah, she's telling the truth. Now, she just said that the police were defunded, so things are worse. And she believes that the National Guard is going to be the thing. Everybody is saying the National Guard is going to be a good thing. The only thing that they're really saying is like, oh my God, they might try to do something to the young boys, but the young boys might try to fight them. But the young boys aren't going to try to fight the National Guard. Come on now. It's there's a video of the police getting beat up at a block club party, and it was wild. However, that's because those people on that block knew those police from that station. So that was more like a neighbor beef. We're not going to jump on on no National Guard with these big old guns. Who does that? Nobody. And again, their goal is not to come here and police the young boys. But yeah.
So
I'm coming about it. They're coming for the cartel. I want to just make sure that everybody who's watching this understands that this is a military campaign. Not to hurt the Negroes in Chicago. Nothing more, nothing less. Everybody calm down, please.
All right, so I'm going to play this clip here, right? And you see, with this green, red, and black flag, you already know what type of BS time they are, because there are people saying we don't need the National Guard.
We believe that the National Guard and the military occupation is the first step into rounding black people up and putting them in detainment camps here in Washington, D.C. and around the United States of America. We believe that.
Well, he has some wrong beliefs, because the National Guard don't round people up and put them in detention camps.
That man probably ain't read a book the first, as my grandma would say. He doesn't know what he's talking about, but what they're doing is they're trying to emotionally manipulate the people against their own safety and security by using dog whistles from slavery. Now, it's very important to remember that during Reconstruction, a Republican president had to send in the military to protect the Negroes from the Democrats in the South. And the same thing is happening 150 years later in Chicago. Same thing, y'all. Same. We're dealing with the same people. They would rather for us to live under lawlessness and chaos while they continue to tell us to find comfort in this chaos than just to make us comfortable, because they don't respect us enough. They think that we want to live like this, and we don't. Nobody wants to live like this. It's very uncomfortable. But all these people you standing there, those are all those people. What you're about to see is $1 billion worth of pensions, okay? Because some of them people sitting there got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pensions, which is why the schools are broke and the state is broke. But then what you're also going to see is a bunch of people who would rather us continue to suffer than get the help that we need from the federal government.
And I want to play this clip.
Am I good?
Oh my goodness.
Nick's leak-proof?
Hold on, y'all.
You're good.
To invoke chaos and terror, the federal government should spend that money on proven solutions to crime and violence reduction. We cannot incarcerate our way out of We've already tried that, and we've ended up with the largest prison population in the world without solving the problems of crime and violence. The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that. It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down.
Yeah, so what the Democrats, their one trick pony is to always bring up race and racism, going back to slavery. And it's like, no, because you had your chance under the Biden administration and you chose to give all these tangibles and all these resources, to illegals to make sure that they're A-okay. So I just, first of all, I don't trust any politician, but,
Trust me, because I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right. But I more so look at you as a statesman, which is those are the statesmen are more authentic and genuinely help the community, and you do what's right by the people. But politicians, and like you're saying, they're all getting their hands greased with money, access, connections. They're not actually wanting a solution. They don't want a solution because if you actually solve crime, then you're going to be out of a job.
There ain't no more anti-violence programs. Ain't no more violence prevention if there's no violence. But I want to tell you this, because they talk about, the police being here, and we don't need this and we don't need that. I went to breakfast the other day with a community leader who lives here on the West Side. And for those who live in the city, he said that his family owns a home near Madison and Pulaski, or more toward Jackson and Pulaski, but in that space. They sell more drugs in a little bit right there, okay? That's actually the epicenter of drug trafficking in the city of Chicago. Is literally an open-air drug market. So his family had began to call the police and report, because they didn't want that chaos on their block. This is his grandmother's block. So he said he went to go visit her, and the guys was like, "Hey, man, Joe, come check it out. Why you calling the police on us?" And they like, "Police? I ain't calling no police on y'all." They like, "Yes, you did, because the police told us that you've been calling. And you better not come back over here anymore." So he has not been back to his grandmother's house for 5 months. That's why the feds here. Because the cartel has so much money that they have literally tainted how we get justice in this city. There's no way that an international organization can set up shop and sell over $1 billion worth of drugs a year and traffic all these people up here without them having help by the people in charge. That's why that's why I've been begging my president to come here, because we need somebody outside of them to come check out what's going on here. That's why I've been saying, please, Mr. President, come to the city of Chicago. Just check it out. Just get in my car. You know what I'm saying? Get in my car and I'll drag you around and you can see what I'm talking about. Y'all, we are suffering here. But what we also want, Miss Dana, is for every one troop that he sends, I want 2 prosecutors, okay? Bring Pam Bondi with you, because what we're also dealing with is the fallout of legislative mismanagement and corruption. And if we could see some of these very corrupt politicians get handcuffed and marched out of City Hall, that too would be a deterrent to crime, because people would know that you can't steal no more in Chicago. They got to start with the politicians, and then they're going to see that crime is going to drop substantially, because they're like, if he could steal, I could steal.
Let me say this, let me include this too, because I believe, because yes, Chicago, that is known for a direct line from Mexico all the way up to Chicago for guns and drugs when you talk about the cartels.
Yes.
And that is a fact. I believe National Guard come in for those 30 days that they are legally entitled to be there. Either it's going to be completely slowed down or zero transaction of guns and drugs coming in via the cartel, because now you have military officials, on the streets. So, I'm curious to see those numbers, because I'm pretty sure Trump is going to have those numbers and gloat about it. But if
hold on, y'all still with me? Oh.
But if when the National Guard comes, I do believe the National Guard is going to come to Chicago, and I really do hope they do come to Chicago, and we see the numbers, his numbers, and compare it to the Chicago police. you're going to see, I think the people would see a drastic decrease of this was what was going on before, and this is what's going on now. You know, zero drug and guns trafficking, scooping up illegals without the interference of the city or city police or governors, you know, what they were doing in California.
The police cannot participate in ICE arrests. So this is even a better reason, because guess what? Now the ICE can come to the city and they can be backed up by the National Guard, and that could work because the cartels are the ones who traffic those people up here. You understand me?
Right.
So every single illegal is.
I think this is Trump's way. This is Trump's way of not subliminally, but just, you know, openly telling the cartels, like, we coming in and we gonna slow down your whole, you know, corporate, the whole operation. Yeah, we're gonna disrupt it. Let me bring this super chat up, and thank you, Courtney Smith. She says, "Good evening, Dana and P. Ray. A lot of the crime here in the Chi goes ignored by police too. In some cases, they don't even answer phone calls." So you mentioned that earlier, yeah. So if they're not arresting, then the numbers go down.
That's all I'm saying, because it's still going down on the street. 3 days ago, a woman, she was 27 years old, a 27-year-old mother of 9. And don't knock her, because some people ain't had kids, so she had extra for those who didn't.
7.
But she had children that's 27 years old. She was standing on her porch at 6 o'clock in the morning, and somebody came and shot her in the face and killed her.
Damn shame. Yeah, that's
what I'm saying. So how can we have incidents like that, but then still say the same breath, "Oh, we don't need no help"?
Who did it?
Nope, they don't know who did it. They never know who did it. They when at that Mellow Bucks album release, when they shot those 18 people got shot in downtown Chicago, and there has not been an arrest yet. How?
I want to play this clip of you here. I have this one. You was on, what is this, Real America?
Oh, yeah, with Dan Ball, Real America News Network.
Yes.
I know you're not a fan of Mr. Let's Go Brandon. I don't think you and I really went after Pritzker too much. He's usually too busy at the subway grabbing a sub. But I don't think they want Donald Trump and the troops or the federal officers. But you've been there your whole life. You've been out there running Chicago. Red the last couple of years to get Trump supporters out to vote in 24. Now you're running for Congress. You were on the streets. You were talking with these folks. What does P. Ray Easley see out there and say about some federal help to crack down on crime in your beloved city?
People are so happy then. First off, hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Yes, but the people are elated. The city of Chicago has been asking for federal troops to come here since at least the 1970s, based on the archives that I've read, for the exact same reasons, and that's because we can't get justice out of the Cook County Court. In the city of Chicago, if the police and the police department is doing a good job, shout out to CPD. They're not the problem. The problem happens in the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, where they're pleading people, and then the Cook County judges are letting them out of jail. They found 5 guys in the car last week with almost 90 rounds of ammunition, and one judge put them in jail. They went back to court the next week, and she let everybody out. So now they can go and complete the hit that they got caught doing. It's not fair. But they're not telling the truth. But I'm going to give you a scoop. I don't know if I've shared this with you, but about a month ago, I was at LaFollette Park, which is in the Austin community where both Brandon and I live. Mm-hmm. I was sitting there with a friend of mine. We were actually drinking juice at these little that he bought for us. And the police drove past and said, "No drinking in the park." Now, behind us is a massive soccer tournament going on. So I said, "Why aren't you back there talking to the people drinking the Modelo's?" And he told me, "We don't bother them. We try not to bother them because we know that if we arrest them, they'll get flagged in the system for immigration. And we don't want that for them." So they're not even counting the crime that the illegals are doing. Yes, I have a witness who can corroborate this story. They are cooking the books. And this is why we need someone independent of the Cook County judicial system to come in and give us justice. And that's Donald Trump and the federal government. It's the truth. I'm consistent on what I say.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
consistent. I'm out here. I'm watching it. Do y'all think that I like doing this? Do you think that I like going to City Hall, waking up in the morning, going outside, having people all in my face? No, I like to make biscuits, okay? I want to wake up and roll out biscuits and drink tea and watch daytime TV, but I can't do that because we are in the middle of an invasion and everybody was acting like we were not in an invasion until we start saying, wait a minute, don't y'all see that we're in an invasion? Act like we're in an invasion and defend ourselves. And now we're defending ourselves. Brandon Johnson and the Chicago Teachers Union went down to Venezuela and have been going to Venezuela for over a decade, building relationships with these people and inviting them to the city of Chicago. We know that as a fact. Okay? Yeah, this ain't made up. They set all of this up, but they did not. These are a couple of things that they didn't count on happening. One, they didn't think that Madani was going to get back in office. Two, they did not think that the people led by Chicago Red would say, wait a minute, don't do this. Don't pay these people any attention. And three, they did not think that the president would actually respond to us. So now that those three things have happened, now they are in a complete state of panic. Okay.
Right. Answers. And then two, nobody is now holding them accountable for all those billions and billions of dollars they got under the Biden administration for the illegals. Like, they don't even mention that. And it's like, well, we ain't forget the people of Chicago and forget the people of New York and everywhere else. Black Americans didn't forget. And
we'll never forget. It'll never be the same again. They ain't know what you got them.
Well, there you have it. I will never forget. I will never forget. There you have it. A person from Chicago speaking out. Chicago. Put the guns down. Where them troops at? Chirac need help. Please. Hurry up. Quick in a hurry. And make it to Chirac. President-elect Donald Trump, where them guys at? This is April Showers. I'm out. Peace.